Cadillac is officially entering Formula One in 2026. And no, this isn't some branding exercise or junior partnership. This is a full factory team backed by General Motors, the largest car company in America. It's the first time since Haas in 2016 that a brand new team will hit the grid. But Cadillac's entry feels different. It's bigger, bolder, and depending on who you ask, long overdue. Because this isn't just about adding another name to the team list. It's about territory, prestige, and control over F1's next chapter. For the last 2 years, Cadillac's been fighting tooth and nail to get into the sport, and it's faced resistance at every level. From rival teams, from F1 leadership, even from the media. Some called the whole thing a PR stunt. Others didn't think they'd get approved at all. But now, the deal is done. Cadillac is in. They've got the budget, the staff, the backing of a $100 billion company. And for the first time in a generation, a full-blown American manufacturer is going head-to-head with Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull. The question is, what does it mean for F1? Will this be a historic turning point swamp or another flop wrapped in good marketing? Let's break it all down. This all started in January 2023, when Andretti Global and Cadillac announced they were teaming up to enter Formula One. On paper, it looked strong. Andretti brought racing pedigree, Cadillac brought big brand backing. But the response? Instant resistance. F1 and most of the existing teams pushed back hard. They argued that a new team would dilute the revenue pot, stretch resources, and, let's be honest, weren't convinced Andretti could build a competitive car. The FIA, however, was open to it. They launched a formal entry process, and after months of evaluation, only one application made the cut: Cadillac. But there was a twist. By early 2025, Cadillac had dropped Andretti from the bid. Quietly, they restructured under TWG Motorsports, a larger, more globally connected racing entity. It gave the FIA everything it wanted: financial security, technical credibility, and a clear separation from the old Andretti baggage. On March 7th, 2025, the FIA gave Cadillac the green light. Full works entry, 11th team on the grid. For Cadillac, it was the breakthrough moment, but it didn't come easy. They'd faced closed doors, political walls, and public skepticism for over 2 years. But now they were in. No more speculation, no more rumours. It was happening. And that raised the next big question. Who exactly is behind this operation? And can they actually pull this off? So who's actually running this new Cadillac F1 team? The entry is officially under TWG Motorsports, a holding group formed in late 2024 to manage General Motors' global racing projects. Think of it like a motorsport umbrella, housing everything from IndyCar and NASCAR to this new F1 program. At the top is Graham Loudon, the team principal. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he used to run the Marussia F1 team in the early 2010s. He's one of the few people with experience building an F1 team from the ground up, a huge asset for Cadillac's first season. Over on the technical side, you've got Russ O'Bleans, GM's longtime performance boss, now leading Cadillac's engine program. And in race operations, Peter Kroller, formerly of Haas, brings direct experience managing pit lane logistics and garage flow. This isn't a skeleton crew. Cadillac has already hired over 300 staff across multiple facilities. It's not just a nameplate being slapped on someone else's chassis. They're building this thing from scratch, with real money and serious intent. And while they don't have Andretti in the picture anymore, they've kept much of the motorsport know-how, just streamlined into a tighter, more corporate structure. The pieces are in place. But where exactly are they building all this? The answer spans 3 countries. Cadillac isn't just entering F1, they're setting up a multi-continent infrastructure to compete from day one. The team's main headquarters is in Fishers, Indiana, just outside Indianapolis. That's where the bulk of the operations, HR, and planning is centralized. It's also where their wind tunnel model testing and simulator development is happening. But to truly compete in Formula One, you need a footprint in Europe, so Cadillac also established a technical base in Silverstone, UK, right in the heart of F1's engineering hub. This gives them access to top-tier talent, suppliers, and real-time data sharing during the season. And on the power unit side, GM has committed serious money. They're expanding their Pontiac, Michigan facility into a full-scale F1 engine development center. It's already operational and will serve as the testing ground for their long-term engine ambitions. Even their North Carolina location, originally built for NASCAR, is being converted into a multi-purpose test and validation site. The bottom line? This isn't a wait-and-see project. Cadillac's got 4 facilities across 2 continents, over 300 employees, and a 2026 car already undergoing wind tunnel testing. They're treating this like a factory program from the start, because that's exactly what it is. But that brings up a critical detail. Where are they getting their engines from? Let's talk engines, because Cadillac's F1 entry isn't just about chassis and branding. It's about power. For the first 3 seasons, 2026 through 2028, Cadillac will run Ferrari power units. It's a customer deal, similar to what Haas uses now. Cadillac will source gearboxes and rear suspension components directly from Ferrari, helping streamline development. But here's where it gets ambitious. General Motors is already building its own engine, and it's not a side project. A full works power unit is in development at GM's Michigan facility under a program called GMPPU. The goal? To debut a fully independent Cadillac engine by 2029. That gives them 3 years of Ferrari power to stay competitive, while their engineers work behind the scenes to launch an American-built F1 engine. Building a new engine from scratch in today's F1 is risky and wildly expensive. If they pull it off, Cadillac won't just be the 11th team on the grid. They'll be a true constructor. And with the infrastructure in place, all that's left now is one thing: drivers. You can't run a Formula One team without drivers, and Cadillac has some big decisions to make. Right now, the shortlist includes familiar names and a few big gambles. At the top of the list, Colton Herta, the American IndyCar star who's been flirting with F1 for years. He's young, fast, and already connected to GM through their IndyCar program. For Cadillac, Herta would be a marketing goldmine. US driver, US team, US market, but there's a catch. He still needs a super license. That means either stacking results in other series or getting a special exemption, neither of which are guaranteed. Other candidates? Sergio Perez, depending on how his Red Bull chapter ends. He brings experience, sponsors, and serious racecraft. Valtteri Bottas is another option, a reliable hand who knows what it's like to build with a new team. And then there's Mick Schumacher, young, hungry, and looking for a second shot. Cadillac has publicly said they're aiming for a mix, one experienced F1 veteran, one younger talent. It's a smart play. Hedge your bets, balance feedback and development with PR and future upside. But make no mistake, they're feeling the pressure to put an American in the car. F1's US fan base is booming, and the Netflix-era audience is hungry for a homegrown hero. Herta fits that bill. But if he can't qualify, Cadillac will have to pivot fast. Choosing the right drivers will define their debut season. Get it right, and they can compete. Get it wrong, and they could fall behind before the lights even go out. So why does Cadillac's entry actually matter? Because this isn't just a new team. It's a statement. For the first time in decades, an American manufacturer is stepping into the most elite, most Eurocentric racing series on Earth, and not just to sponsor, to compete. With 3 US races now on the calendar, Miami, Austin and Las Vegas, F1 has made it clear the American market is the next big battleground. But until now, It's been all marketing, all Netflix. Cadillac is the first serious move to back that with real engineering firepower. It also raises the stakes for F1's competitive landscape. An 11th team shifts everything: grid size, revenue sharing, sponsor exposure, even TV time. Not every existing team is happy about that. More cars on track means more risk, less money, and potentially more unpredictability. Then there's the pressure on Cadillac itself. This is a brand that's trying to rebuild its performance identity after decades of drifting between luxury and muscle. Getting it wrong in F1, the most unforgiving sport in motorsport, could set them back hard. And the biggest gamble? The engine project. If GM fails to deliver a competitive power unit by 2029, they'll be stuck mid-pack, or worse, with no one to blame but themselves. But if they nail it, they become the first American constructor to challenge Europe's giants since ever. This isn't just about making the grid. It's about proving Cadillac belongs at the front of it. For Formula One, Cadillac's arrival is a double-edged sword. On the surface, it's a huge win. A legendary American brand joining the grid adds legitimacy to the sport's US expansion. It shows manufacturers still see value in F1, even with skyrocketing costs and tight regulations. And it helps sell the narrative Liberty Media has been pushing since day one. F1 is global. It's cool. And now it's got Detroit muscle, regulation shift, new power unit rules, sustainability targets, cost caps, all designed to bring in fresh blood. Cadillac is proof the door is open, but there's risk too. If Cadillac underdelivers, or worse, becomes another backmarker, the sport gets dragged down with them. Remember how long it took Haas to gain respect? Or how quickly teams like HRT and Caterham became punchlines? And then there's the political risk. Adding an 11th team disrupted the balance. Sponsors get split, prize money gets thinner. And if Cadillac starts poaching talent or outperforming legacy teams, expect fireworks behind the scenes. In short, F1 needs this to work, not just for Cadillac, but for every other OEM watching from the sidelines. Because if they succeed, more will follow. So here's the big question. Will Cadillac shake up the grid or get swallowed by it? They've got the funding, the facilities, and the ambition. But this is Formula One. Nothing's guaranteed. And if history's taught us anything, it's that money alone doesn't make you fast. What do you think? Should Cadillac go all in on Colton Herta? Or play it safe with someone more experienced? Drop your driver picks in the comments. We'll be reading through the best takes. And hey, if you want more no BS breakdowns of F1's biggest moves, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps more than you know. We've got more deep dives coming, including a look at the upcoming Ferrari versus Ford versus Audi engine showdown in 2026, a factory war that could define the next era of Formula One. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.